Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the week ending 12th of July 2025. 7-7 commemorated. Netanyahu has Trump nominated while the GHF is castigated for having innocent Gazans eliminated. Parts of Texas saturated and devastated. A one-in, one-out scheme is negotiated to have channel crossings mitigated. Conservatives have Norman Tebbit venerated and adulated and his life celebrated. Hosepipe bans in England anticipated. 7-7 in the year 2005 was a day in the UK that changed many lives. A day when terrorism was brought to our door by suicide bombers within our own shores. Something Blighty had not experienced before, our mindset readjusted forevermore. The day multiculturalism showed its flaws, people in our midst secretly seeking war. 52 killed, nearly 800 hurt and maimed by bombs in a bus and 3 underground trains. The Prime Minister at the time, Tony Blair, spoke to the nation of his shock and despair. His outrage and dismay, though, were not just his. We all wondered how British citizens could do this. Security services had missed within our midst those who'd have Western culture cease to exist. So Monday's remembrance went deep, far and wide, marking 20 years since our age of innocence died. Sir Ian Blair was head of the Met on that grim day. 20 years and 2 days later, he passed away. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation is an American-backed organisation being used in Gaza since the end of May for aid to be provided by Israel and the USA. Human rights groups claim using the GHF has led to many unnecessary deaths. The execution of the aid distribution is poor, but it's the execution of Gazans that worries them more. Israeli forces being increasingly accused of deliberately killing people in food queues. Israel will claim that they are aiming at Hamas, but the dubious deaths of innocents have amassed. And as the atrocities become worse and more, the whole world is getting closer to the final straw. But Netanyahu ploughs on unrepentant. On Washington, though, he's still dependent. So on Monday he flew off to the States to visit Donald and his White House mates. Peace in Gaza was the purpose, we were told, and Trump was typically confident and bold. Then his guest presented him with a surprise, a nomination letter for the Nobel Peace Prize. Thereafter, a Gaza settlement was hardly mentioned, leaving doubts about Netanyahu's real intentions. Starmer cried, smash the gangs. Rishi said, stop the boats. Choose your slogan and capture the votes. The punters get tired of these throwaway quotes. Such fatuous phrases now stick in their throats. Kia's had to eat humble pie in a huge dollop as smash the gangs has gone crash bang wallop. So, how relieved he must have been for the chance on Thursday to chinwag with the President of France. This was the first state visit for a European nation since Brexit came along and soured relations, and Macron was the first president of the French state to be given such a reception since 2008. A royal banquet and a parliamentary address. He then sat down with Starmer to sort out the mess. The mess of trying to find a way to allay the stress caused to so many by the boats from Calais. The U-turn of small boats to the place whence they came is a U-turn that our PM would love to claim. The one in, one out pilot scheme now confirmed means one kosher claimant comes for each failed one returned. That's what's been floated, but whether it sails depends on the devil in the many details. Norman Tebbit's a guy who should take credit for the way he did things and the way he said it. He was Margaret Thatcher's sidekick, confidant, knew her mind, her ambitions, ideas and wants. No flannel, no dancing on a pinhead, loved his spitting image puppet, the Chingford skinhead. Said what he meant and meant what he said, with no nonsense, straight talking, authentic street cred. Told people to not riot and not to strike. Ordered the jobless to get on your bike. In 1984, on a fateful October day, he nearly got blown away by the IRA. At the Conservative conference in Brighton, the Irish separatists aimed to kill, not frighten. They only managed to claim one Tory MP life, but they severely disabled Norman's wife. Thereafter, his political ambitions were sidelined to give his wife Margaret his care and time. He'd probably now be cancelled as a dinosaur. On Tuesday, he passed away, aged 94. Down the hill, houses and trees bumped and slithered, dragged by the overflow of a fast-rising river. 120 people dead, probably many more. At least 160 are unaccounted for. Kerr County in Texas on Independence Day was hit by flash floods that washed everything away. On Friday, when Trump and his wife visited the scene, he said it was the worst disaster he'd ever seen. Extreme weather also in the UK, with the third heat wave of the summer on its way, and with low rainfall from March to July. River levels are low, reservoirs are running dry. So on Friday there was no outcry, no asking why, when announcements came that hosepipe bans are nigh. Just the rolling of eyes and a resigned sigh, wondering why no bill reduction would apply, and why leakages remain eye-wateringly high.